coming. What's going on, Jojo?
Jojo.
You know I called you Jojo.
Are we going to have to give each other nicknames? Because
No.
I like Jojo.
Yeah, you can keep it. You don't have to give me a nickname, but...
I already have one.
What is it?
Dirty French.
Dirty French.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be French in front of the acronym that suits me so well? I don't understand that.
Well,
I think that dirty alone is fine by me.
so you're saying that dirty and French is synonymous with one another?
No, I'm just saying that I recognize myself into the dirty. I'm not sure it's got to be made clear that I'm French. I think my accent takes care of that. Thank you very much.
Call you the sea bass?
Yeah,
Call you the dirty Frenchman?
Yeah, people call me that here often. It's very foreign to me. Would you like a clove, sir?
No.
They are made in India. Just like Isani. For folks that don't know who Isani is, he used to be a guy from Africa that worked in a call center environment, and people got mad at him for his accent and constantly asked him to pack his shit and go back to his native country of India. So
I'm not from India.
that was interesting.
Yeah.
So, Jojo, what do you want to talk about, bro?
There's a couple different things, but I think most recently we had the opportunity to see Ronda Rousey get her fucking ass kicked. That pompous bitch.
You think she's a bitch?
I think she is. I think she plays the character well. Like, if she was a wrestler, like in the WWE or something, she'd be a favorite. You know what I mean? Like, she plays the heel pretty well.
I think she's a favorite already because of that. I think that she has had tremendous media attention, and it's like a Conor McGregor, or a Chael Sonnen, and those people.
Chael Sonnen, he was the first one that I keyed into that would have made a friggin' killing in the WWE.
Yeah, well, didn't Rampage Jackson did a little bit of a WWE or WWF?
Did he?
Yeah, and well, obviously we had Brock Lesnar, but he started with the WWE. Yeah, I think Rampage did. Ronda also did some shit like that. She did like SmackDown or. Excuse my complete ignorance in pro wrestling.
I don't watch it, so I don't know. Yeah, it says former professional wrestler for quitting Rampage Jackson.
Yeah, so he quit the UFC, and then he, I think, he just did a few appearances, right? I don't even know that he ever, what would you call that, wrestle, right?
Yeah, it says that from 2013 to 2014, he was on TNA, which is Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. He made his debut on June 6, 2013, and got into a verbal confrontation with Kurt Angle. Do you know who Kurt Angle is?
I have no idea.
So he is a professional wrestler, but he also is a former Olympic gold medal wrestler. He was a very, very...
Also, like a real deal.
Yeah, like Roman Greco wrestling. Like,
yeah.
Really good guy. And it's funny.
He's fucking jacked to the tits, bro.
You see him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacked to the tits.
Yeah, so there's a lot of guys in the WWE that actually used to be wrestlers, like in high school and college and shit. So
but this guy was legit. It was legit.
He won Olympic gold medals. He was serious.
I see him with his gold medals.
Yeah.
But did he actually have like a fight with Rampage or no?
No, it doesn't look like it. It looks like it was just part of the storyline. They just had them have some kind of beef.
Okay. And type Ronda in wrestling, pro wrestling. I believe that she did the same thing. She made an appearance.
Let's see. Yeah, she did.
Mm-hmm. But this one, what's crazy about her is that she does all the shit while she's still doing MMA at a champion status.
That's true.
So she does. Rampage did a movie, and right after he did this movie, The A-Team, right? I think that was the only real movie that he had. I may be mistaken, but at least the only blockbuster that he had. right after he did this movie, his career was almost completely over. I mean, he had a couple fights. He lost one, I think, or something like that. But Ronda was doing movie, so the Expendables, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Expendables 2 and 3, or just
I think it was just 3. I don't think she was in Expendables 2.
And doing the wrestling and doing the UFC. I think it's cool that the UFC allows that. They allow them to, go to different organizations like that, and I think they might see the value in exposing their brand, because obviously having their champion going into a different organization and doing a little bit of a hype and things like that, bring them more exposure, especially in that field, right? The wrestling, pro wrestling fans. But I don't know how long that's gonna last, though, right? I feel that at a certain point, they're going to get so big that it's going to be like the NBA. If you can't go into a different basketball organization just to play a quick game and then come back.
Oh, sure.
Or maybe does the NBA let their player play with the Harlem Globetrotters or things like that?
No, they're pretty. They protect their asset pretty well, so they don't want them to do anything where they.
NFL is the same thing.
Yeah,
right?
And as a matter of fact, as I'm reading through this Wikipedia page about Ronda Rousey, it doesn't seem that she was actually involved with any of the ring antics. She just was part of a storyline. So it says that during SummerSlam in August of 2014, she was backstage talking with Brock Lesnar, as a matter of fact, and some of those folks. And she was asked if she would ever cross over to professional wrestling, and she replied, "You never know." So she kind of left that door open, right? And then
was she backstage or was she on the ring? Because I remember seeing a video of her on the ring.
She was involved. It says that she was doing commentary and she was in the front row at WWE SummerSlam. And then they went backstage and they had her backstage talking to Brock Lesnar and his manager Paul Heyman and some folks. And then a couple months later, in March 2015, at WrestleMania 31, she was also in the front row. And she had an in-ring argument with The Rock.
That's right.
And Stephanie McMahon and Triple H.
Yes.
So, yeah,
she's taking on The Rock, huh? And Triple H.
And his wife.
And his wife, all at the same time.
Same time.
That sounds a little dirty.
Yeah.
That sounds a little sexual to me.
So it says that they had a little bit of an altercation where Rousey hip-tossed The Rock. And then Stephanie McMahon tried to slap her. And she was blocked, and Ronda grabbed her arm, teasing an armbar. So they have her involved in a little bit of the physical altercation, but not to the extent where she could get hurt. Right. Of course, the UFC does not want her to go someplace and get hurt, because that has a significant impact on their ability to make money off of her.
Yeah, I even don't know that, because John Jones currently is doing power wrestling. I mean, powerlifting.
Yeah, but John Jones currently isn't under contract with UFC either.
I believe he still is. Well, no, because he got... it's crazy. He got stripped from his title, right? But I don't know that his contract was terminated. I just think that they forced him into, taking some time off from their organization, right? But it doesn't mean that John Jones could walk away from the UFC and go to another organization like Bellator, right? And fight there.
Oh, right.
I heard Dana White recently, I think from the Roundup fight or whatever. The last one was Holmes. Home, Holm. And he was, mentioning all of this, that he was doing powerlifting and he got jacked, and maybe he had a little bit of a juice in the tits too, who knows. Well, as long as the athletic commission doesn't test you, right? As long as you're not getting ready for a fight, that you're not, on a roster for a future fight or things like that. I think they all do that. They cycle on and off, but I may be wrong, but I think they all do to some extent. But he looks fucking jacked, and squatting like crazy, and deadlifting like crazy, and so those are all kinds of areas where you could get hurt. I understand that it has to do with preparation and physical training and things like that, but one would think that the UFC could put restrictions on things like that, but they don't. just like the movies and the promotion and all of the things that those folks are doing to try to promote themselves and the sport and stuff like that.
Don't you think there's more risk, though, in getting involved with wrestling or getting involved with acting where you're doing, like, chase scenes and stuff as compared to maybe doing powerlifting? I understand that there's a risk for injury with powerlifting as well, but I think it's probably a diminished risk when you consider the alternatives.
I don't know. I think that it's a lot harder maybe to maybe ban somebody from doing that, right? Because it has to do with, you know, your physical preparation.
Sure.
It's strength and conditioning training, like a lot of strength and conditioning training. I mean, could you not allow John Jones to do CrossFit if he wanted to?
No.
You know, to get ready for a fight. So yeah, I think that you're absolutely right. Now, I don't know if it mitigates the risk of injury. If the risk of injury is lesser if you do CrossFit or if you do, you know, a movie with a bunch of action scenes and things like that. It's pretty kind of crazy, like Olympic lifting and things like that, where you have 250 pounds above your head. I mean, something can go wrong very easily, especially when you do it, you know, almost every day, right?
Yeah.
Like 5 days a week. When your regimen is 5 days a week, you deadlift 600 pounds off the floor, you squat with a bar with 600 pounds or 500 pounds on your back, you know, and you go down below powerlifting, they proud themselves of going below 90. So when you actually squat down, it's not like, you know, a lot of bodybuilding squats where typically it is somewhat acceptable if the ass is not slightly below the knee, but in powerlifting it would count as if you do what they call the competition in powerlifting. It's called a meet, and if you don't go below, you know, if your hips does not go below your knees, it will be a no rep. It will be like, you know, you didn't do it.
Sure.
Right? So when you go with 500 pounds, you know, on your back and those depth, it's pretty fucking dangerous. I mean, you know, shit can happen. Your knee can cave in. I mean, there's powerlifters that lift or squat, you know, 1,000 fucking pounds. 1,000 pounds. But, you know, at those weights, they do it over and over and over again. And something can absolutely happen, especially in competition where you try to push yourself. The actual goal of powerlifting, it's to do one max rep. So that's their thing. And contrary to bodybuilding, where you do, you know, you select a weight that could be a lot lighter, but you do a lot of rep with it. You know, you'll do if your one max rep is 1,000 pounds, let's say, and make no mistake, you're a fucking beast. You know, there is very few people in the world that can do that. If your one max rep is 1,000 pounds, in the world of bodybuilding, it will, you know, translate to doing, you know, I don't know, 9 reps with 600 pounds. You know what I mean? Rather than one with 1,000 pounds, right? But in powerlifting, their ultimate goal is to do that one rep max. And that's how they calculate who wins the tournament or the championship, is that they have weight classes and they have those 3 main lift that are the squat, the bench press, and the deadlift, and then they calculate what was your one max rep for each, and they add all these weights, and then the guy with the highest weight wins the competition. So that's typically how it's calculated. So it's as opposed to bodybuilding, where after you're all done training, you go on stage,
get yourself all nice and oily
and slippery. Yeah, and put your G-string on and go to town, baby. Flex those muscles.
That's it. So I found it interesting as I was just looking at this John Jones thing. He's looking pretty ripped right now.
Yeah, man. Did you see the before and after picture?
No, I have to look at that. But they're saying that he is tentatively slated for a bout on April 23rd in Madison Square Garden in New York. I didn't think that they could fight in New York.
Yeah, they always try that. So if the New York fight would take place, then John Jones will be on that card. That's what they're trying to say. But fighter, I've been on that schedule for a very long time. John Jones, I believe, is from New York, right? So yeah, that would only make sense.
I'm looking at this picture from his Instagram, this before and after.
Yes.
This is pretty ridiculous.
Yes. Yeah, and I think on the after picture though, he's oiled up and shit, and
Doesn't look like it.
doesn't look shiny or something. He looks darker. The skin looks darker. Something is like the tan lotion is on, or something is going on there. Like he was trying to show off the definition of his body, but it doesn't mean that he didn't gain any muscle. He definitely
Right.
put a lot of muscle on.
He looks totally different.
Yeah, I don't know how what weight he's at either, right?
Yeah.
So it looks now that he could almost be fighting at heavyweight.
He's saying that this is just 2 years difference.
Yes.
2013 to 2015, so he's
Yeah.
completely changed his entire body type in 2 years.
How long has it been since the fucking hit and run was like cocaine and dildos in his car or whatever the fuck he had, running away from the popo? And this guy's wild, man.
I don't know. It says it was earlier this year. It doesn't say when.
I think it was early in 2015.
Yeah,
I
it was
almost
early
feel
this
like
year.
it's been a year already.
It just says earlier this year. So they're saying that it's earlier in 2015. I just don't know when. This article was actually published today, the one I'm reading. So
And so the current champ is
Daniel Cormier.
yeah. So that means that he would automatically have a rematch with Cormier, right?
I would think so. That only makes sense. And obviously that's going to be the most salacious fight. Everybody wants to see that, right?
Yeah, I think there is no need to hype that fight. I think
They
that
probably don't even need to advertise it.
fucking gonna pick up
Just put a
exactly
picture.
where they left it off.
So
And
who did Cormier fight earlier this year? Was that
Gustafsson?
no? But didn't he? The what do you call that guy? Mighty Mouse?
No, Mighty Mouse is.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
fucking strawweight or whatever.
Yeah.
He's
destroyed him.
125 pounds.
Yeah, they would've
No,
destroyed
he fought the Alexander the Mauler Gustafsson. It's hard to say, and but he won the belt, I do believe, from somebody else. I just can't recall who it was.
Oh, he fought. He fought Alexander
Yeah.
Gustafsson, and then he fought Anthony Johnson.
That's right. So I think it was reversed. He first fought Anthony Johnson for the belt, for the vacant championship, right? Because they stripped John Jones.
Oh yeah, he fought him, and that's how Cormier got it.
Cormier got it from Johnson.
Yeah, the fight against Johnson.
And then they did the matchup with Gustafsson,
Yeah.
and he won against Gustafsson.
I don't know why I thought it was Mighty Mouse, but you're right. That'd be like,
That'll be a
like David and
disaster.
Goliath, man.
That'll be a disaster. I mean, for either or. Imagine if Mighty Mouse wins the fight, fucking Cormier's career is over. You know, you got wiped out by a fucking 125 pounder.
Yeah.
You're fucked. You're done. When you're like 205, that's crazy. That's 80 pound difference. So what else do you have in store, man? So we talked about Rousey just a little bit, but do you
Yeah.
have anything else? Do you have any, besides the fact that she was a cocky cunt, or whatever you called her?
Well, I just think she went into that fight thinking that there was no way she could lose.
Well, she
She did not even fathom that there was a possibility she was going to lose her title that night.
I don't know that a lot of people really fathomed that there was a possibility that she could lose either.
Well, I don't know. You know about Holly Holm, right?
Not really. No.
She is a seasoned, well respected and proven boxer.
Right. I think it's kickboxer.
Yeah.
I think. She may also had some world record or world championship in boxing alone, but she also was either some kind of Muay Thai champion or just straight American kickboxing champion. I do know that, but so were a lot of her previous opponent, and they frankly couldn't stand a chance. They couldn't stand a chance with Ronda. Ronda just, fucking destroyed people one after the other. And the latest in date was that Beth Correa chick that looks like a fucking dude jacked up on steroid. She was probably so juiced up that's the reason why they did the fight in Brazil. Because, if they did the fight in Nevada, she would have never passed the fucking drug test. And she destroyed the fuck out of her. She actually did the same thing that Holly Holm did to her. She fucking killed her, except that she did it in one round.
Right.
And face planted her. Bam! Done. Lights the fuck out. And I think that fight solidify everything that she has shown before, because she has shown a lot of submission. There was one fight, I think, against Misha Tate where she kneed her in the stomach, and it was more of what's called a technical knockout, where it's like a TKO. Yeah, essentially that's a technical knockout, where it's partially the ref stopping because the fighter is not defending themselves, but the lights are not out. It's just the pain is so unbearable, or the arm is broken, and then they just crawl up into a fetal position, and then the guy is pounding him. That's the TKO. So I believe that the official version for the Misha Tate fight was a TKO. The second fight or the third fight, I don't know how many times they fucking fought, but the very last time she fought Misha Tate. And this one, there was no doubt that she probably would be in a scrap, against this chick. But my personal belief is that as soon as she would get a hold of her, it'd be fucking over. I mean, Ronda Rousey is a silver medalist Olympian in judo.
Yeah.
They stick grab you and you fucking fly. And it didn't happen at all. At all. I think that the one time that there was a takedown that was getting engaged, it was an afterthought takedown. She did take her down, but she ended up in the bottom, on her back / trying to go for an armbar, and it turned out very good. And they both got back to her feet, and she took a punch in the face. It's just like. It was interesting, but I didn't think, though, that it was completely one-sided like a lot of people said it was.
It seemed to me that it was. Holly Holm at one point took her down.
Yes, yeah. And
that's a lot of balls, because she's not somebody that does the ground game. She's a striker.
Yeah, but and my belief with Ronda, too, is that she's a little bit like a GSP, right? GSP was not the scariest or the most dominant. He was definitely a dominant fighter before the Matt Serra fight, but the thing with him is that people were thinking, how do you beat this guy? How do you fucking beat this guy beside knocking his shit out? Right? And I feel that this is exactly what happened to Ronda. She got slightly outclassed on her feet, especially at the end of the round. I think she didn't really know what angle to approach Holly. I think that maybe she was maybe questioning herself. And I'm going off of pure speculation, right? But she was maybe questioning. I think the game plan for her was to fight, to stand up and fight. And she wanted to prove a point. And her coach probably told her that, she definitely had a point to make, and that if she could stand and bang with this chick and knock her the fuck out, that everything was going to be okay for her career, and that nobody would question her boxing ever again. And so when this did not really happen and didn't turn out, I think that she was probably confused and conflicted to go back into just a pure grappling mode, and I got to clinch with that chick and I got to make it happen. I got to take her down. And so she panicked a little bit. The round was over, and then they got back to the corner, and when they came back, I think it was about a minute of that punching clinic again, and then she got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
So that was it. I mean, if Holly Holm did not land that head kick, right, the fight would have probably continued for 4 or 5 rounds. She may have lost to decision, or she may even had been able to fucking take her down and pull a Anderson Silva versus Chelson in one. You know what I mean? Where she gets beat up the whole fucking fight and she armbar in the 5th round. You know what I mean? Or the 4th round. And that's I think that's the way the fight was going to go. But I have always kind of had that GSP mentality. It's like, if you want to get rid of her, you got to knock her out, because she won't stop coming.
That's right.
And by the way, the entire fight, she never stopped coming. She never backed off once. Never backed off once. She was always the one engaging. I think it actually played in favor of Holly Holm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she's the more technical, and she let her make mistake and fucking picked her apart. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Done. One thing is for certain, though.
You gotta be careful saying bomb, bomb, bomb to me.
I know. Bomb, bomb, bomb. especially after what happened in my country from your people.
It wasn't my people.
Let me wear the hat a little bit, just an homage of the victim of Paris.
I think we need to get a picture of it.
Sure. I'm converting to Islam.
Do you have any idea how many bonus points I get if you convert?
Is it some kind of like multi-level marketing?
Oh yeah,
scam?
For sure.
All right, so you just have to sign here. Just kill 3 people, and you get 72 virgin back.
Yeah.
And then you get a bunch of virgins from that, right?
I do. I do.
No, do they actually mention virgin women's?
No.
Or can it be little boys or goats?
It could be goats.
Okay.
I'm actually interested in getting a little bit of all.
A little bit, so you can pick and choose, right?
That's right.
So it's actually like a supermarket. You go with your shopping cart and you say, "No, I'll take this one,
Yep.
and that one, and that one." How much do I have left? 51. Okay.
It's like a buffet.
I'll keep shopping.
It's like a buffet.
Can I come back?
It's all you can eat.
Do you do you have to actually pick them all in one day, or
No.
can you come back?
No.
Okay, that's pretty good. So you can pick one and just bang the fuck out of it for a year and then come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun. And
Well-
all you have to do is kill some Westerner
That's it.
in a horrible situation and then blow yourself up.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, do you have to die as a martyr, or can you like do it all your life and kind of die of what happened if you do it all your life? Like what would happen to Bin Laden if he hadn't gotten killed?
If he hadn't gotten killed, Bin Laden,
Yeah. So would he still get his virgin
he would get 72 times 7 virgins.
times 7?
Times 7.
Okay. So it's actually you're incentivized if you leave.
Oh, excuse me. I was just looking up this female suicide bomber in Paris. Did you hear about this lady?
Yeah, I think she killed the dog. I think she's the one that killed the dog when they got in the apartment. The version that I've heard is that when they got into the apartment and that she blew herself up.
She actually coaxed some of the police officers in by acting like she was in need of help. She said, "Help me, help me."
Yeah.
She was at one of the windows.
Yeah. But and then 4 or 5 cops were injured too.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was from a shootout or if it was from the her exploding herself.
I'm not sure, but...
So what do they get? Female, do they get 72 boy virgin?
No.
Oh, they don't.
No, they only can choose between other females or goats.
Really? So you can get like put a little peanut butter. Do you have peanut butter that goes with the goat, or
It's not peanut butter.
no? It's like olive
It's
oil.
tahini.
Oh, hummus and tahini.
It's tahini.
Cool. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
All right, a little pita bread on my virgin goat. Man.
But on a serious note, it was interesting when I read an article and saw some of the news stories about this woman, because she had so many people fooled. Even her brother was saying that she didn't even start to dress like the ninja until just a couple of weeks prior. She used to wear cowboy hats all the time. I mean, she was just a Moroccan girl that lived in Paris. Very unassuming. Nobody thought of anything that she could have done like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they call them the sleeping cells or sleeper cells, right?
Yeah.
So they actually are advised to actually just appear normal, like normal people, and it's fucking crazy to think that they go home at night and then they meet each other, maybe once a week, and they talk all this. It's like you and I do a podcast once a week. They fucking gather with each other for a couple hours at night once a week, and they talk about how they're gonna kill infidels and wear their burqas and shit like that. That's fucking nuts. That's crazy. Because you don't get completely radicalized in 2 weeks.
No.
That must have been years and years and years
Obviously.
of bullshit and studying, and kind of reminds me a little bit of those extreme, left wings on campus and shit like that we were slightly talking about. Those people, it's years and years and years. It's like 4 or 5 years, whatever it takes to get a degree. 6 years, 7 years, 8 years for a PhD of brainwashing. And then those people come out of there completely fucking brainwashed, communist, leftist, socialist nuts, that have absolutely no rationale, and those people end up being, major in major organization and probably most likely in politics. I mean, very little would be left to their own devices and create a fucking amazing organization like Apple or something like that.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
What's interesting to me, and I guess I don't know as much about the climate and the population of France as you do, but she was born in France in a city called Clichy-la-Garenne, a suburb near Saint Denis or Denis.
Yeah, so Saint-Denis is in the north of Paris, actually really, really close, and that's where they have the stadium.
Okay.
Which is the Stade de France, which is the actual stadium that was built for the World Cup in '98.
They built it for the World Cup?
Yeah. So, it's always, you always have those countries when they have Olympic game and
Sure.
shit like that. They find an excuse to spend billions of dollars of your tax money and cash in a couple millions. But
Yeah.
so that was one of those, right? They needed a bigger stadium, even though we have plenty of them. And that is now, our main stadium. Every time there is international competition in France, they'll build it, and they'll rent that stadium and do their competitions there. So it's called the translation of it is the French Stadium, right? It's the national stadium, right? And so. So, do you have a particular question about her?
Well, no, it was interesting to me that she was actually born in France. It's not like her family moved from, a Middle Eastern country or a Mediterranean country.
Right.
I mean, she was born and lived, from what I can tell, her entire 26 years in Paris or in France.
She was 26 years old?
Yeah, she was born in 1989. So it's interesting to me that somebody, regardless of where her parents are from, somebody that was born in France could be, I guess, indoctrinated with this bullshit that. It's just, I don't understand.
Yeah, you and I think briefly talked about the subject a couple of times. There was a obvious need in the 80s for left-wing politician to create racism in France.
Oh, yeah, we did talk about
in order to create racism, they had to make those, absolutely atrocious claims that they were not, especially Arabs, people were not getting their fair share, and it's kind of like what we had before with feminism. That they didn't have the same chances, and there was segregation, and there was this, and there was that, especially in the workplace and in the living, arrangement and things like that. But it was always more or less contained because, in my opinion, it was always more or less contained by one thing and one thing only, which was the actual mandatory military service. So all the way up until, I believe, 1998, right? 1998 was the last batch of 18-year-old men that was called in for the mandatory military service that used to, at the time, last 9 months. But my grandfather generation was 2 years. Mm-hmm. My dad generation was about a year and a half, 18 months. My, let's say my brother generation, even though he was one of those that, the generation that went the very last was 79. So the boys born in 1979 had to do 9 months of military service, essentially. So you go to basic training, and in there, what you do is that you mixed young men into an environment where you will forge their discipline. They will have to make their bed. They will have to eat together, to sleep together, to shit together, to hold their rifle with each other, and to have that combat, style mentality. And what you do is that you, against their will, essentially, when they first arrive, is that you make them brothers, and then you force people, especially immigrants and native people, to have an interest and understand each other. So that creates, really deep bonds, especially when you spend 18 months with, a group of guys. I'm sure most of the military service people can tell you that. You don't necessarily need to go to war, but when you spend 18 months together in the same unit, doing the things, with each other and blah, 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 and going to boot camp and training after training and suffering, it forced a character. And then you get to learn, those people that may have a completely different culture, and then you get to exchange, what the culture from the Moroccan countries and what kind of food they eat, and then after that training, most often than not, they would invite each other for dinner. Hey, this is my mom, and it's my dad, and
Sure.
you will keep on cultivating this culture of friendship and camaraderie, and it would kind of break those walls and those barriers that were there just by the difference in culture to begin with, right? So when they stopped doing that, it was actually Jacques Chirac that did that. I think from 98 to 2015, it vastly contributed to just keep on building the segregation wall, right? So now those people have absolutely no way of really communicating ever with each other, which, when I said those people, I mean the immigrant son from those Middle Eastern countries, and then the native boys, typically would be white boys, but we also have a lot of, very successful assimilation from Portuguese, Spaniards, Italian. Not to say that their parents, they're the first generation, didn't have some kind of racism against them, just like they would have had here, right? But the big difference between them and the Middle Eastern folks is that the culture was very similar. The only thing that really changed was the food, but they were all Christian. So they observed the same holidays, they respected the same manners, they had the same understanding of what good and evil is, right? And you'll have differences in pastries and things like that, and a little bit of culture, differences, but that's it. And France is also very, very close in some areas geographically, in some areas with Italy, right? We share a border with them. With Spain, we share a border with them. Portugal shares a border with Spain, so by definition, they're also very close to us, right? Because they're very close to Spain, and we're very close to Spain as well.
Sure.
German, all this stuff. And then we had a wave of immigration for the East. But it's the same thing. It's like the Christian culture is a lot easier to assimilate. But when you go from a culture that is completely different than yours, Middle Eastern culture with a Muslim religion, it's a lot harder to assimilate. It just is. You have different codes. It almost feels like we're all human beings and we have the same blood, but because of the religion and the immerse and the code, you're not wired the same. It's like your sensitivity are off. It's
right.
Like somebody will cry for something that the other one will laugh about. You know what I mean? And vice versa. It's completely crazy. So you put those people in very close to each other. In those areas of Paris where there is millions of people. There is 10, 15 millions of people, maybe in a city that's the size of New York. So. And you never ever break those walls. You never ever force them to communicate with each other. It looks really good. I like it. I think you should keep it. What's the name of the hat, by the way?
It's a fez.
It's a fez. And what is the name? Does it have, like, the people that wear the hat? Do they have a name?
I don't know if it's like medical but I would say assholes wear this hat.
That suits you well.
So I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to share those, or is that the last one, or what?
No, there was one.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
You told me that you didn't want any.
Sir? Was that before or after I put my fez on?
It was before.
Okay. Well, now I have my fez on. I feel like doing a little dance.
So, does that answer your question? I know I gave you a
Yeah, it does.
long-winded question, but
It does, because it's an interesting concept to me. Somebody that hasn't lived outside of the United States. Because for me, this is somebody that grew up here. I'm saying here, like assuming that this is the U.S. or the Paris, somebody that grew up here that hasn't ever really been involved with the Middle Eastern culture, so to speak.
right.
I've been involved with other Middle Easterners and other Mediterraneans and everybody else that's here, but in Paris, in France.
Right.
For you to get so indoctrinated with this terrorist bullshit that you would do this, it just blows my fucking mind.
Yeah, so there is an additional concept to this. I believe that the you got to keep pumping, keep on pumping, baby. There you go. I believe that the one thing that you guys, the U.S., have been shielded from for a very long time, but not anymore. Right now, you are in the baby stages of that. Mark my word. Is self-hatred. Self-hatred. You had a little bit of that with the black community and the slavery, right? Where it came to a point where white people, hated themselves and who they were because of the history, right? Because of the history books and what happened and how evil the white man was to the Indians and how evil the white man was to the black people. And you had those movements in the 60s and the 70s that started completely hating themselves, right? And you had that backlash with the Vietnam War, how horrible this war was. It was just a complete backlash and a letdown of the military men and women, because the one that really suffered was not the government, was the military men and women, the people that came back from Vietnam completely fucked up in the head. Mm-hmm. And still to this day, a lot of them are homeless in the fucking streets because they were never recognized. They were never given the care that they needed to be given because they politicize an event, and the one that always suffer from the politicization of an event are the people. That's never the politicians.
Sure.
I mean, worst scenario for a politician ends your career. And then you just move on and you write books and you jerk off. It has no repercussion to you as a politician. You'll never end up homeless. You know what I mean? You're always going to have some backdoor fucking deals that you can do.
Of course.
You can always deal some drug at a high level. I mean, it's fucking true. You can also charge $100,000 to go and do a speech. It doesn't matter. Even if you had a couple scandals under your belt, it doesn't fucking matter.
Like Bill Clinton.
Yeah, well, I said a couple, but Bill Clinton, you can probably add a zero after the two. But but Bill Clinton was also a president. I'm
right. I know.
Basing my claim more on like a senator or House of Representative, something like that, right?
Sure.
Lesser level than the fucking president of the U.S. But you'll never go to jail. When was the last time a politician went to jail? I'm talking about hard fucking jail, 15 years in jail. When did that ever happen?
How about the former mayor of Chicago that sold Barack Obama's empty seat?
He's in jail?
Oh, yeah.
For how long?
What's his name? Rob Blockovich? He was on the Celebrity Apprentice. I can't think of what his name is. I have to look it up.
How long did he go to jail for?
He's still in jail. Currently.
And he was in the Celebrity Apprentice before or after he went to jail?
After. He got arrested, actually, while he was doing the show.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, it's because the heat was on, and then he had to go, he had to take one for the team. It is what it is. They probably gave him $20 million to go to jail.
Rod Blagojevich.
Okay. Do you have the lighter?
Yeah, it's right here.
So what about Rod? That's a very interesting name, by the way. I think it's like a porn star name.
So he's a former American politician who served as the 40th governor of Illinois from 2000. Excuse me, he wasn't the mayor of Chicago. He was the governor of Illinois.
Governor, yeah.
From 2003 to 2009. And 2009 is when he got arrested.
So this guy got arrested under the Obama administration?
Yeah, and the reason that he got arrested is because when Barack Obama vacated his Senate seat to go on his presidency run and actually got elected president. They had to backfill that seat.
And he sold it.
He sold the seat.
Wow. And how many years in jail is he going for?
I'm looking it up right now.
Guarantee you he's out.
I don't know all the detail, but I'm going to tell you right now.
I guarantee you it didn't take more than 3 years.
All right. So he's charged with corruption by a federal prosecutor, was impeached, and removed from office January 2009.
Yeah.
So he was indicted on corruption charges in April of 2009.
Uh-huh.
Jury found him guilty.
Yeah.
And then there was a mistrial. And then some other shit happened, and on December 7th, 2011, Rod. Let's just call him Rod.
Roddy.
We're on first name basis. He was sentenced to 14 years in prison.
Holy shit. But you said some other shit had happened. What had happened? Because
it wasn't more to the story. It was just...
Don't you find interesting that the first trial was a mistrial?
Yeah, so it says the jury found him guilty on one charge, a mistrial being declared on the other 23 counts due to a hung jury after 14 days of deliberation.
That's fucking interesting.
Yeah.
So he's found guilty in one charge,
and then the other
but then they drop all 23 others.
Yeah, and then on June 7th, after a retrial, Rod was charged and found guilty of 17 of those 23 charges. Okay, so there was only,
so can you be retrial for the same shit?
Yeah, if it was found to be a mistrial, yeah.
Okay.
Because you weren't found innocent or guilty.
Okay.
It's
just fucked up trial.
Yeah, let's just do it next through and start again. Which included wire fraud, attempted extortion, and conspiracy to solicit bribes.
Okay. So they wanted to make him an example. They wanted to show that they had integrity, and that they were going to do it. So to me, it's very close to the Bernie Madoff, right? Is it Bernie?
Bernie Madoff?
Yeah. That took life in fucking jail, and he was the only one that went to jail for the whole fucking collapse of the American economy.
They used him as the martyr to try to tell everybody else to stay away.
You see what we... No, it's not that it's to stay away, because they're not staying away. They're doing the same thing. It's just that everybody else got a pass, and then they told everybody else, hey, we're going to fucking jail this guy. Everybody's okay with that. Yes, we are. Okay, we'll make an example out of him for the population to show that we have integrity. And it looks very similar to that. It sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it happens all the time. And Madoff is a very, very good example of that. The guy, the lone star, the lone wolf that did all this shit apparently on his own, which I really found it hard to believe, got several life sentences.
Right.
Several, right? Not even one.
It was multiple.
Fucking 2,000 years in jail, motherfucker.
Yeah, dude. So about 4 years ago, this guy was sentenced to 14 years in prison.
Okay.
And this is a guy that was the governor of Illinois.
Yeah.
So as the governor, I mean, not quite presidential level, but it's
really high in the status.
Yeah.
I have to admit that this is interesting.
Yeah.
So our story was, the French people's story with the immigrants for the Middle East was that culture, that self-hatred culture, was egged on for 35 plus years. And then for 35 plus years, the entire body of education started to shift gears to have a self-awareness and self-conscious history lessons about the French people and the colonization of other places and the bad and the evil that we've done in the world, and how we harassed those people and oppressed people, and then those people are now in our country, rightfully so, which I disagree with, and that we are essentially elevated to the status of dog shit. And when you put that in the mind of 6-year-olds, all the way to their university, and when he gets to the university status, is fucking raging on self-hatred, that we are worthless pieces of shit, that we have never contributed to anything in the world, that, if we wanted to know what a great nation was, it would be the United States and Russia and those people of the real power. You know what I mean? It's like wild fucking shit. And I believe, my friend, that this is slowly installing itself in the U.S. That being said, with the amazing example that we had prior to the 1980s, with amazing story of integration and from this country that I mentioned, Italians that moved in, and within one generation, those people felt more French than they felt Italian.
Right.
It was an amazing phenomenon, to the point where I believe, and don't quote me on that other countries in the world were studying the French phenomenon. How is it that French people can assimilate other nations so well, even more so than the U.S.? Which I think right now the actual phenomenon is the U.S., right? It's amazing to come in this country and to observe how everybody's fucking patriotic to the tits.
Yes.
It's crazy to the vagina. It's like it's my vagina has fucking stars on it. It's like, wow, crazy. You go to France, only the official buildings have French flags, or they are displayed in a sports event. That's it. That is it. It's almost shameful to exhibit your patriotism over there. It's very uncommon. It's very chauvinistic. It's very weird. And it has been for me for years too, until I came in this country and I said, no, the normality is to be proud of where you're from.
Sure.
That's the normality. The normality is to stand for something, right? And so that is the impact that it had on French people, on native French people. So imagine the impact that it had on young second generation immigrants when they went to the same history lessons, to the same school as us, and all they learned in there was how fucking evil we were to their grandparents in their countries of origin. And unlike slavery, it did not happen 400 years ago. It happened 20 years ago. At this point in the 80s, it was 20 years old. Mm-hmm. And that was a recipe for fucking disaster. And it happened. That's what's going on right now. That's why you have young Muslim/Arabs, because they're really Arabs before they are anything else, right? They can be of a different nation. I do believe that Arabs, Christian, and Jews are assimilated a lot easier than Muslims, but that's a different theory. They burn the French flags and they put their own flags from their country of origin, and make no mistake about it, their country of origin don't even want those kids. Right. They tell the French people, you can fucking keep them, we don't want them.
Right.
Fuck you, they're delinquents anyway, we don't, go ahead and put them in your jails. Jail is another thing that I haven't mentioned too. In France, if you do an armed robbery, the hardline, prison sentence that you will get is maybe 10 years, and you'll be out by 5 or 6.
Right. So
you fucking did an armed robbery, and you go in jail for 5 years. I believe that if we instituted the 25-year sentence, that you will have a lot less robbery. It's just my belief. It's crazy, huh?
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Put somebody in jail for 25 years because he wanted to rob a jewelry? I don't think so. I think it's fucking normal. If you are a cancer to society, we have to remove you.
Yeah.
We have to fucking do chemo,
Cancer to society, that brings up another topic.
Tell me.
So Jared Fogle got sentenced today.
Who's that?
Jared Fogle, the guy from Subway, the spokesperson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pedophile?
Yeah, the pedophile.
Is it a pedophile or is
It's a sexual predator. Yeah, it's a pedophile. Pedophile. He got sentenced today to 15 years, 8 months in prison.
Do you think it's enough?
No, I don't.
So what was his crime exactly? What was the charges and what was the backstory of that? I know who he is.
Yeah.
I know he lost a ton of weight and he was the spokesman for Subway.
Yeah.
Eating their subs or whatever, and the guy, I guess, couldn't cook for himself, so he had to buy a sub every day, right? No, it had nothing but spinach in it.
Yeah, he walked, if I'm not mistaken. He walked so many miles to and from the Subway.
Oh, I see.
And just ate Subway. So it wasn't so much that he ate the Subway, as that he walked so many miles.
Fucking every day.
Yeah. So this particular article I'm looking at doesn't have all of the details, but he was known and recorded to have made deals to meet small boys and girls, like between the ages of like 12 and like 14 years old, like for sex. And at one point he was talking to a reporter who kind of played the game with him a little bit to try to get some dirt from him. And she made it seem as if she was interested in what he was interested in, and said that she had some contacts. And some of the stuff that he was asking her for and like saying, hey, do you have access to this, was just disgusting. Like at one point,
So when you say he made deals, do you mean it's multiple times, right?
multiple times.
Okay.
He made transactions, made offers.
So it was giving out money.
Yeah, he was paying.
To pimps, essentially, right? People that had access to little kids.
So here's an example. It says Fogel had asked in a chat with an 18-year-old female acting as a pimp, and said he would pay her $400 if she could find him somebody 16 or younger to have sex with. And he asked, do you have access to young girls?
He was married with kids too.
He was married with kids. Yeah.
With little girls too, right?
Absolutely.
That to me is not only just disgusting.
It's disgusting.
It's just not just disgusting. It's fucking scary as shit. It's scary as shit to know that in this world, in this society, having sexual relation with the woman is not enough to get you aroused. It's that you have to have, it would be one thing if the guy's scandal was that he had sex with prostitute, right? It would be one thing that his wife did not satisfy him enough, or maybe he wanted to have some homosexual experience and things like that. But to think that he was not aroused enough by adult and he had to go to young individuals,
right.
It's like that's what he's attracted by.
Yeah.
It's fucking gross.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking gross. But that is also a culture, my friend, that's shifting too. There is a lot of people in this world with a lot of power that are pedophiles.
Oh yeah.
There is a lot of scandals involving judges and fucking in France, especially, and in Belgium. I know the Belgian prime minister, which is the equivalent of a president, because I guess over there they have a king. Was involved in multiple time. I think had police reports, over 200 police report where his name was pulled in relation to riding with underage kids in the middle of the night, getting pulled over by a cop for speeding, and then he realized this is by himself, right? This is the fucking prime minister of Belgium. And he's got like 2 14-year-old boys with him, and this is just one story, which, by the way, are recorded. It's I'm not making any accusation or anything like that. Those are fucking recorded action that the cop had to fucking write a report. They let him go. Oh, sorry, Mr. Prime Minister. Have a great night. Blah blah blah. Because that's your fucking boss. Essentially, that you're pulling over. That you even fucking ask the guy to step in the back of your police car, your fucking career is over.
Oh yeah.
They can never arrest a guy like that.
Sure.
You'll have to have some high level judge that can actually put a warrant for his arrest. But all those people are either involved in some scandals, like pedophilia scandals, or they are bought. Their silence is bought. And apparently it's a thing. It's a fucking giant gangs of people that love to have relationships with little kids, 16 and under.
Yeah. In addition to this just disgusting shit he was doing, it's also said in this article that he spent at least $12,000 annually on prostitutes. So he was still trying to satisfy these weird sexual things, not only with the children, which is fucking disgusting, but also prostitutes.
Yeah.
And he had a wife and children.
So it's very it's very telling of his personality and his probably giant sex addiction. And he probably at first had lots of sex with prostitutes, and then it wasn't enough, and he wanted more. And some people, when they want more, that mean that they're gonna have some S&M fucking crazy kinky shit. And for some people, is that they want to have that extreme, that taboo stuff, right? They want to have something that's illegal, that's not allowed, and that's what makes them sexually aroused.
Yeah.
I'm not a psychologist. I'm just making this shit up, but I think that's what's going on in their mind. And what about the guy that wanted to have sex with horses and brought T-shirts for them to pee on them and shit like that? You remember that story? Can you tell us that story a little more?
Yeah, I'll have to look it up to get all the detail, but there was a guy somewhere in Pennsylvania that made arrangements online with undercover police officers posing as somebody that had access to horses for sexual reasons. So this guy mailed 5 T-shirts to this guy so that the horses could urinate on these T-shirts. And then he was going to fly out to Arizona someplace to go have sex with these horses and bring those T-shirts back as like a souvenir.
So he could wear them and jerk off.
Jack off, yeah.
Wow. And he got arrested, right?
Well, yeah, that's against the law.
Well, according to somebody, it's allowed in West Virginia if the animal is over 20 pounds. Is that a thing?
I've never heard that before.
So is it actually on the books, or is it just tolerated? Like if you bang an animal that's over 20 pounds, we just won't say anything. Kind of like if you get pulled over and you have just a little bit of weed, they'll just be
Can I ask if you're being serious right now?
Yeah, what I'm serious about is I'm totally serious about the fact that as the rain is hitting my garage door, what I'm totally serious about is the fact that somebody told me that is from West Virginia, that in West Virginia it is allowed, it is legal to have sex with animals.
Is this the same person that I know that's from West Virginia?
Correct.
Okay.
Bestiality is allowed as long as the animal is over 20 pounds. That's what I've heard.
So
it sounds like total bullshit to me.
I think it's bullshit, but it's interesting because I did search, see what I could come up with, and there are people asking the question. So here, I'm going to read this to you. This is on Answers.com.
Maybe it's a cultural thing.
Somebody on Answers.com asked the question. Quote, from what I have heard, it is legal to have sex with animals in West Virginia as long as the animal is female and weighs under 35 pounds.
I've heard over 20 pounds.
So this is somebody asking the question.
So under 35 pounds will be you can fuck a chicken. I mean, you will kill that thing.
Yeah, because I can't think of another animal that's under 35 pounds.
A dog, a cat, a bird, a snail. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Okay. Oh, so Watchdog.org has an article here that says that Alabama is outlawing bestiality, but it's still legal to rape a sheep in 13 other states.
So sheep is the animal, that's the only one. So if you want to rape a horse, you can't do it.
Yeah, so this is interesting. I assume that Watchdog.org is a legitimate site for somebody that does this.
So Watchdog is the one that point out all sexual predators around your town, right? They have like a map, and they put all of the convicted felon that had... Have you ever used that website?
No.
So in case you didn't know, I don't know if you know or not, but watchdog.org is you can punch in your address, and then you'll see your house and your school, and then you'll see all of the other houses that contain a registered home for sex offenders. And you have some, weird stuff. It's like you can be a sex offender if you get arrested for peeing in the street, which I think is completely fucking crazy. But, you have some legit pedophiles and shit and rapists and things like that.
Would you be interested to hear some of the states where it's legal?
Please. Florida.
District of Columbia, Hawaii, New Mexico, Texas, Wyoming, Montana, Nevada, Ohio, Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, New Jersey, Vermont, and New Hampshire.
So, according to this website, it's only legal to bang sheeps and goats, right? And things like that.
No, bestiality.
Oh, bestiality.
Bestiality.
Why were they using the term sheep? Just to make a little more better claim or whatever?
Yeah, so it's a felony in 16 states, bestiality. But it's legal, so it doesn't provide any commentary on the states that aren't mentioned. But it's legal, apparently, bestiality as a whole, or generally speaking, in the 13 states. Yeah, because
we're missing a shitload of states here, right?
That's only 29 states.
Right. So essentially, it's half, and so we're missing the other half there. It just no comments.
Yeah, they're just not included. It doesn't say it's legal. It doesn't say that it's not legal.
Well, it may not be a felony. It may just be a misdemeanor.
Oh, that's a good point. You're right. Because it specifically says that it's a felony in 16 states.
And it's legal in 13. So in between could be just, a second degree, first degree misdemeanor, shit like that. Is there degrees in misdemeanors as well? Or is it just in felonies?
I think it's just in felonies.
Okay. So it's just a misdemeanor, right? So you get a ticket. You get a ticket. It's like going to a fucking prostitute. If you get arrested, you have to pay $200 for banging the goat. Wow. Now, I'm gonna make a comment that may shock a lot of people, but this is essentially the states, right, contained within the country that claim that they are the policemen of the world, and then they want to impose their a way of doing things across the world, right? Which we all know is bullshit. They don't want to do that. They just want to grab the oil and not the U.S. but the U.S. government. They want to get filthy rich. So, talking about this, let's assume for a second, right, that after the attack in Paris, let's be Rambos and unicorns here. After the attacks in Paris, right, and the strengthening of the new and improved, actually just the newfound backbones of the French president, which he never had one. He's not even a fucking president to begin with, but don't get me started. And his relationship with Obama and Kerry, and they're going to go to war against ISIS and things like that, with the pressure that Putin is putting on finding who are the country that are financing ISIS, right? Mm-hmm. Because he's coming out with fucking names. Mm-hmm. He's got a list of 40 countries, actually not named as countries, but as money transitioning out of 40 countries. So he's not saying that there is 40 government involved. He's just saying that they have a very clear map of where the money is moving out of 40 countries, mm-hmm. from those countries to ISIS. So it could be, a millionaire in one of those countries that is just sending his money out, right? Or a billionaire. So let's say that they realize that Saudi Arabia and Qatar is no longer a viable ally, right? How are modern politician, going to make money? More so than what they already make with their salary, right? because a lot of people are wondering why there is such an alliance between Saudi Arabia, which are fucking crazy radical, excuse me the term, but fucking crazy radical goat fuckers for this particular point, part of a cult that is a cult of hatred, and that, just fucking want to shove everybody's head that don't fit their morals. How is that a logical ally for the US and the West in general? Beside the fact that they probably provide a shitload of money. So what I'm trying to say here is I'm trying to say that the West is essentially the mob, a mafia that allows this, little country to make a ton of money as long as they're on a payroll too. Mm-hmm. Well, we'll keep you protected, we'll keep you in power, right? But everybody's on the fucking payroll. And I believe that a lot of people in America and a lot of people in Europe are on the payroll of those people. So what if, and part of the reason why they've never taken them out, because it's an obvious fucking target. If you want to know where evil radical Islam come from, you got to look to Saudi Arabia. I mean, it's fucking obvious. It's so obvious that I'm baffled that people don't understand that. Normal people. How does politicians are going to make money? Because those fuckers feel like they come in broke as fuck and they leave with, millions of fucking dollars. They buy mansions everywhere and you never see them again, and they have private jets and shit like that. How do they make money? Drug trafficking?
Oh, there's ways, I'm sure. I haven't put the thought into it, but I'm sure that
it's an interesting concept, though, right?
It is,
because we know that those fuckers are making money some way, somehow, right? Mm-hmm. There was a kind of a very short article one day that I read about the reason why Paris was in constant renovation, constant fucking improvement. They are renovating roads that do not need to be renovated
because they needed a way to spend money.
So they need a way to spend money to do a bid, right? So they can get some millions of dollars in their pocket through back doors, under the table deals and shit like that. And so you're always going to make your money like that. A mayor is going to make, especially in a big fucking city, is going to make tons of money like that. There was a scandal here, a semi-scandal here with some companies that moved in the area here that got some, tax money up front, and then they never ever created their company ever. You remember that Blue Gym company, and they got $10 million from the CDC or whatever.
Yeah,
the comedy that like the developmental comedy, and they never even fucking hired one people. They never even built anything. They just went out of business. They took the $10 million. They went out of business. So, welcome to Florida, my friend. What do you think? How would you make money as a corrupt politician? High level politician, not, little level, a city of 50,000 people, you're commissioner for a city. Is a commissioner for the city, or is it for the county?
It's county commissioner, you have city councilman.
Okay, so the county commissioner, how are you going to make money for a county that has, 2 million inhabitants? I'm not saying that. I'm saying like you're a senator, you're a governor, like a high-level politician. How do you make millions of fucking dollars?
I don't know the answer to that.
So, is it fair to say that when Barack Obama took office, he was broke?
No. I think that it's well known that he was a very wealthy person.
So how did he make his money? As a community organizer?
Are you asking me a serious question?
Yeah, no, I'm totally serious. I mean, I don't know. I know that some of them, like the current governor here, Rick Scott, he was in healthcare, and he was CEOs and shit like that. I still don't know, unless he created the company, I still don't know how you would be a multi-millionaire from being the CEO
I don't know his story about how he made his money, Rick
Right.
Scott, but
Well, it looks like it's pretty legit, though.
Yeah.
Or Mitt Romney, you know.
Yeah.
We know he was kind of like a shark flipping around businesses. And
Yeah. Barack Obama was a successful attorney before he got involved with politics. So he made a lot of money as an attorney.
I know that he has a law degree, but
He was a practicing attorney.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
Could you confirm that using a machine there?
Well,
Because my understanding is that he was a very young community organizer, and then he went into the Senate, and he was a junior senator from Illinois, and then he was elected as a president.
well, let's take a look.
But he was, what, 40-some years old, right, when he was elected?
Mm-hmm.
That was already almost 8 years ago.
Yeah, that's why we're having an election in 2016. We're going to have a new president.
Yeah.
Thank you, God. You can edit that out.
No, I won't. That is your message, and it's got to be in there.
Yeah, that's not.
How did Al Gore made his fucking millions of dollars? Because Al Gore is a multi-millionaire, right?
All right, so Obama graduated from Columbia University and Harvard Law. So those are two Ivy League schools. Columbia University and Harvard are both Ivy League schools. He graduated from Harvard Law. He was a community organizer in Chicago before earning his law degree, and then once he earned his law degree, he was a civil rights attorney and taught constitutional law at the University of Chicago Law School between 1992 and 2004. So that's a period of 12 years where he not only was a practicing civil rights attorney, but he was also a professor at a law school in Chicago.
So as a practicing civil rights attorney, unless you have your own practice, you don't make shit, right?
I don't know. It depends.
Might get lucky if you make six-figure, right?
Maybe. It depends who you're in bed with. That's how, I mean, that goes to a lot of the political connections he made as well. If he was a civil rights attorney, I mean, he was.
Well, yeah, we know he was in bed with the Al Sharpton.
Jesse Jackson, Al Sharp. Yeah, he was the.
So maybe high level, right? Maybe high level attorney. Is there a way for us to find what kind of case he won and if there is any settlement attached to those cases? I've just never really explored that, you know. But here is another angle. Can the politician keep a lot of money from their campaign donations? Not legally. I understand not legally, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think
but
that's a difficult question to answer.
The political campaign for the governor of Florida amounted to over $100 million per candidate, right? This is fucking crazy, man. $200 million for the last two standing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me that you can't put $20 million in your pocket if nobody's looking. Would you be still successful with an $80 million campaign? And I'm not alluding that anybody stole money here. I'm just.
You are though.
No, I'm just hypothetically. Is there a possibility for you to put money, a large chunk of money? I'm not saying $100,000 here.
Can it be done? Yeah, I think it can be done, but
has anybody ever been caught for that?
I'm sure people have. I don't know the instances. I can't share the stories with you.
Probably nobody that care to.
I'm sure people have, and I'm sure they have been caught. For sure.
Interesting.
For sure, but the idea behind political fundraising is that you're funding a political campaign. That isn't. I mean, that doesn't mean that if you keep your budget low that you just pocket the money. That's not how it works.
Yeah, I assume that there is a lot of oversight, but if you had enough people on your payroll, you could make it disappear, right? And the idea that out of $100 million campaign, just one fucking campaign, in 9 months, do you tell me that those people blow through $100 million? That's fucking crazy. How long is a campaign? 9 months? Max?
No.
More than that?
These guys that we're talking about now, these presidential campaigns?
Well, they're talking about the governor. Because right now, the governor is about due, right? Too, right?
Yeah.
Do we have anybody shaping up? I mean, I haven't heard anything in the media for, the governor of Florida, the re-election. Not that I've been paying a ton of attention, but I do watch occasionally the local news, and I have yet to hear anything about any kind of debate shaping up or any kind of candidate making their move or anything like that. And maybe the election is not due until a while here for the governors. I don't know. It kind of feels like we just had one where that Chris guy...
Yeah,
Charlie Crist.
As a matter of fact, you're right. It's the every other year. So the next time that we're going to have a gubernatorial election for governor in the United States is 2018. So we just
we're far from that.
Yeah,
okay.
we just elected Rick Scott to a second term in 2014.
So is it fair to say that it's maybe a year, right? The elections. When are the next election here?
For what?
For the president.
We're going to be voting in the primary sometime in maybe August.
Yeah, so that's a year.
No,
right?
Sorry. The general is going to be in August, and then the actual election is going to be in November 2016.
Mm-hmm. So you feel like it may be like 15 months, right? The full-blown campaign.
No, 12 months. Inside of the next 12 months, we're going to have a new president.
Yeah, but those debates have started, a while back already, right? Maybe they've started in August, I believe.
When did we watch the first? We watched the
it was
first
in August.
Republican debate here.
Yeah, my cousin was here. She was here in August.
Yeah.
So that's about 15 months, right?
Yeah.
August, September, October, November. Yeah. So yeah, 15 months. What was the total money spent or accumulated by Obama and Romney combined for the last election? Was that Romney the last, right? It was the last dude standing with Obama, right?
You have a computer in front of you, you know that, right?
I do, but I like to make you my secretary if that's okay with you.
Okay.
I just like it better. And you should wear your hat too while you do that. It just makes you so more official with that. There we go. Now it's got to be on the side, the little Allahu Akbar. Would you like me to let me play some Arabic music?
Please. It would help me out quite a bit.
Let's do that.
If you could do that, please.
It's coming, folks. It's coming. Let's do it. I have to listen to it in the thing, though.
Well, this is interesting. Politico.com.
It's fitting. Sorry about that. Tell me. Politico.com.
Wow.
It's hot as fuck in there.
Politico.com says that in the 2012 presidential election, Obama raised $1.23 billion and Romney raised $1.019 billion. So that means that between the two of them, over $2 billion in campaign money was raised.
In 15 months. Okay? So, I don't even know what billion is after million, right? And then after that there's trillion. Okay,
that's correct.
So let's just do two, right? Because let's not fucking clutter our minds with more than that. So that is 200,000. God, there's too many fucking zeros. That is, hold on. Fuck, I don't even know how to do it. How many zeros is there in a billion?
There's 9 after
2,
the 1.
4, 6, 8, 9 divided by 15. No, you gotta fucking probably shit your fucking pants, bro. That's $133 million a month. So tell me, I think your mic is gonna cap that too. $132 million a month. I could live with that. So don't tell
What are we
me.
listening to here? You know what this is?
I have no clue.
Are you being serious?
That's your computer, bro. Oh, that's the French national anthem.
I'll sing it for you. Against us stands tyranny. The sanguine standard is raised. The sanguine standard is raised. Do you hear in the countryside the roar of these ferocious warriors?
I like that. I think that we should make that our intro. I'm going to change the intro from now
The
on.
French national anthem?
Yeah, and then we'll switch up to the Oriental Nights that I have pulled up. So, $133 million a month.
How about the Israeli national anthem?
Could you put $3 million in your pocket every fucking month for 15 months?
I could.
Enough
could.
said. Enough said. How can people stand by that? How can people be okay with that? By the way, if you did that for 15 months, it would be $45 million we just made.
And
All expense paid, every...
as fucked as it sounds, it's so easy to siphon that amount of money when you're talking about raising campaign funds in the billions of dollars.
So I truly believe that this is why Hillary Clinton is running.
Because she needs some more money?
Because she wants to retire with a big bang. You know, they want to be okay financially. Her husband, even though he can probably do a speech, whatever you call that, a presentation for $100,000 per university and shit like that.
Yeah. You don't think she is running because she really wants to be president?
How old is she?
Hillary Clinton?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nobody wants that, bro. Nobody wants that when you pass 70 years old, unless you are fucking. It's on your bucket list. It's the number one item. You know what I mean? Like nobody.
68.
68. When is the retirement age? Why are those people not retiring? The cutoff limit should be 65 years old, and you're out of politics.
How old do you think Bernie Sanders is? Who's also running?
I don't even 73.
74.
Fuck. He looks like shit.
How old do you think Trump is?
Trump, 71.
69.
69. That's a good year. That's a good age for Trump. It reflects very good on him. How about the dude that you told me got arrested for punching a Uber?
Yeah, so there was a Taco Bell marketing executive that was trashed one night, just drunk as shit in California, and he was riding in an Uber, and he was basically being asked to leave the Uber. The driver no longer wanted to drive him because he was just too
belligerent.
drunk. Yeah, and so the Uber driver, no good. The Uber driver pulls over, and he's like, "Get out." So the guy acts like he's going to get out. He opens his door, and then he shuts the door and reaches around and just starts sucker punching the Uber driver, just knocking the shit
From the
out of
inside?
him. Yeah, inside of the car.
Is the video online?
Yeah.
Because he had like cameras in it, right?
Yeah. So wisely the Uber driver, when he was going through this whole get out of my car thing, decided to turn the camera on so it was like facing them. So
I see.
It was
So
mounted.
His dash cam.
Yeah.
Spray a drunk passenger after. Did he pepper spray him?
Yeah. So then the driver turns around and pepper sprays the guy.
Hold on, we'll listen to the thing here. So he's turning the camera around. I gotta listen to it. I'm sorry, I only have one fucking headset. We'll have to hook you up with that. Are you playing the music?
Sorry.
Oh shit, he's like falling over. And he's got his hat backward.
Yeah.
Fucking punk.
Oh yeah. This
All right,
guy.
man, I gotta kick you out.
How are you doing?
Yeah. No, I'm kicking you out, man. You're too drunk to give me directions, man.
No, I'm not sure.
I'm kicking you out.
I'm giving you the directions right now.
Nope, that's it. Trip's ended.
No, I'm giving you the directions.
Trip's already ended, man.
No, I'm giving you the directions.
Nope, I'm kicking you out.
Park Newport. That's all you need to go is Park Newport.
I'm kicking you out, man.
So he's kind of being a jerk.
I'm serious.
All you need to go is Park Newport.
The guy's telling you
I'm giving you the directions to Park Newport.
I've already ended the trip.
Well, I'm in giving you a new trip.
That's no. Get out of my car.
Oh, but he's giving him a new trip.
Get out of my car.
Sir,
get out of my car or I will call the police.
Let me tell you something, you little shit. Fucking bitch. Fucking get the fuck out, fucking bitch.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm giving you a fucking little shit.
Yeah.
He's telling me, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking pepper spray his ass.
Call the police. Yeah, that's what happened. No, what the fuck? Call the police. Yeah, you got maced, motherfucker.
You got maced, motherfucker? That should be a meme, bro. You got maced, motherfucker.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is, though, as I was reading more about this guy, Benjamin Golden, he apparently has a track record of like getting intoxicated and just getting violent and being a dick,
punching people up.
Yeah. So subsequent to all of this going down and getting into the media, he was fired from his job at Taco Bell. He was a executive in the marketing department there at Taco Bell, and they let him go. So not too soon after this whole thing happens, he shows up on all of the morning, news outlets crying, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
What's his name?
Benjamin Golden.
Golden.
Yeah, Golden.
And he just Benjamin Golden semi-cry apologizing for attacking ex-Uber driver.
Yeah, and like all he kept saying is, "That wasn't me."
Let's check in on some headlines from the West.
The suspect in the Uber attack is talking exclusively to CBS 2. Ben Golden is facing charges that could send him to jail.
Well, he spoke with our Orange County reporter Michelle Geely about that now infamous night that was caught on camera.
No,
I want people to understand that because I've been trying not to read what's being said, but I'm not that person.
Well, I mean,
Ben Golden, the intoxicated Uber passenger recorded on camera attacking a driver, is remorseful, scared, and embarrassed.
Well, yeah, I'm watching the actual fucking thing.
Golden broke down in his first interview since the troubling incident last week in Orange County, which has been viewed more than 2 million times on YouTube.
They're bleeping the fuck out of it.
The 32-year-old Newport Beach man claims he remembers nothing about the ride, the assault, or being pepper sprayed by Edward Caban, who is now suing him.
Shove his face.
What I know, I saw in the video.
Good thing he was drunk though, because
I've seen the video
the guy looks, like he could do some damage too, especially in that position, like where he is your rear passenger.
Oh yeah.
And then the guy apparently, so the guy
attacks from the back seat. An Uber driver takes a beating, but his aggressive passenger didn't get away with it. Hello, everyone. I'm Andrea.
And I'm Peter Dowd. The driver's video camera recorded the attack, but tonight that driver is speaking out about what you didn't see on camera. KCAL9's Christy Fajardo.
That's why
the driver on the receiving end of the blows. The pummeling only ends when the band
crazy Russian videos where those guys, like, it looks like in Russia everybody has a dash cam.
Yeah.
And all kinds of shit goes wrong over there.
Shit going on.
Like not even the people with the dash cam, but in front of them somebody like comes out casually and that start beating the fuck out of somebody else, and then the gun gets pulled, and then police get there. It's like, wow. And then once in a while you would get those crazy trucks that are loaded to the freaking ball bearings with crap on them, like a 1982 truck that has like 10,000 pounds on top of it. That's crazy. And in accidents too, like people drive like maniacs over there. I don't know if they drive more like maniacs over there, or it's just because there is more dash cams, so they just get caught on tape more often. But you have anything else on your book, sir?
No.
All right. Well, it's been fun.
Episode 2 in the books.
It is. Thank you, my friend. You have yourself a good night.
All right. Thank you.